Okay, welcome friends to Evaluance Global. So this is our one capsule from Financial Intelligence Series 2020, where the key theme for our today's discussion is investing and trading in mid of the challenging times. So across India and across, of course, the globe, uh, as an investors or a general investors are facing a lot of challenges. They have number of questions as to in this particular challenging time how to look at various investment opportunities, how the overall capital market scenario is, what decisions they should be taking in the near term or the long term, and what are the multiple options available, and all the more beyond that, what should be their attitude and approach towards the investment, financial planning, or wealth creation. So with that particular theme today, we have with us Mr. Anmol Thakkar, is director with Anmol Equities Private Limited, and the company is engaged into capital market services and providing services to the financial institutions, domestic institutional investors, the high net worth investors from last almost 4 decades, and carries a rich experience. And Anmol personally also shares a lot of insights with me, and for any investment decision, of course, his views are the ultimate. And I'm sure many of our friends in the community who are primarily leading multiple organizations like CXO community, CHRO, CFO, or Chief of Operations, they also seek a lot of inputs from Anmol as to how they should plan their wealth, how they should create wealth, enhance wealth, and he also guides them in terms of taking various financial decisions. So I'm very pleased and happy to have Mr. Anmol Thakkar today, and we'll seek his expert inputs on various areas which are slightly of a concern to an investor and a trading community. So the theme today is investing and trading in mid of the challenging times. And what is our agenda? Our agenda is to seek his views on overall capital market. What should be our approach for the near term and long term? And what are the specific inputs or strategies which he would recommend for us to navigate through this particular challenging time? And we'll also seek his expert inputs on what should be our outlook going forward. So first of all, thank you, Anmol, for being with us here today.
Thanks a lot, Smitesh, for having me, and it's my pleasure to address you on this issue. It's quite hot at the moment,
Yeah.
but definitely I'm really happy to be here.
Sure. Thank you, Anmol. So, Anmol, what I'll do is there is a first question which I would like to ask, and this is a very broader one, which is so what do you think about overall capital market scenario currently in India and across the globe, and what should be the thought process from investor community as such?
So, Smitesh, let me just take you. You know, see, overall scenario is quite weak. All right, due to the consequences of COVID-19, which has taken a toll on people's regular lives
Yeah.
and the economy on a very drastic level.
Yes.
Right. Let's let's start on the macro front. I'll just help you with a few numbers, which will give you an idea. Yesterday the RBI governor came and announced that the repo rate has further been cut by 25 basis points to 3.75. Last month, it already cut by 90 basis points to incentivize to banks to lend further in the economy.
Okay.
Our government security yield, a GSEC yield, last month had appreciated to 6.4%. All right. It was only after yesterday's RBI's intervention we had seen a rally up to 6.34. So all these rate cuts could actually eventually give weight for appreciation to the US dollar.
Yes.
So basically, hello, so are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I just
Okay.
put off the video. No problem.
Okay. Yeah. So these rate cuts could lead to a US dollar appreciation,
Yes.
and to control that, we need forex reserves. Our forex reserves are quite healthy.
Yes.
It's at 470 billion at this point. Our inflation came in at 5.9 in March 2020. Our food inflation was down from last month, from Feb. So, which is okay, a good sign. But the worrying part is that we've seen a sharp contraction in import. Our imports have contracted by 29%, and even our exports have fallen by 35%.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So these all have really hampered, things on a macro level. Even our fiscal deficit, it stood at about 10.36 trillion rupees, which is 35% above the budgeted 7.6. So overall, things are contracting on the macro level. I'll give you a slightly global scenario on what's happening in I'll take the US market as a benchmark. All right. Their 10-year yields are at 0.6%. All right. 2 quarters back, we were at about 1.5 or 1.6. So we've seen a 60% absolute terms rally. So people have sort of, let me say smart money has sort of shifted from your risk on kind of assets to risk off assets.
Right. Oh.
All right. Also, the US market at end of March announced a fiscal stimulus of about $2 trillion. Last week, another $2.3 trillion. It has given a huge boost to the US economy. But the worrisome part is that their debt, their national debt stands at $24 trillion.
Oh, that's
That debt to GDP ratio is 106%. India is at 76% right now.
okay.
And the Fed's balance sheet is at a deficit of $6 trillion. Just the Fed.
It's a massive amount.
It's a massive amount. So, so with this COVID crisis coming along, central banks all around the world have initiated fiscal easing.
Yes.
Monetary easing already started from last year.
Yes.
Right. But I think beyond a point, we are exhausted. In fact, before COVID, we were exhausted with respect to monetary easing.
Yes.
Fiscal easing is the way right now. So the Indian is seeing the Indian fiscal space. Firstly, our fiscal deficit is already high. We don't have too much money in our government coffers any which way. So we are quite restricted on that grounds. But the worrisome part is the US. Because the kind of stimuluses that they've rolled out are massive. And the only question that it puts to your head is that when are they ever going to cover that kind of debt?
Oh.
So that is a very scary bit. Let me now just come to the micro side of things. Last month, so in Feb, our market made a top of 12,480 levels.
Yes.
We've seen it going all the way down to 7,500. We've seen almost a 40% rally from the top. Our FPI outflow, our FII as you call it, outflow has been 62,000 crores in March. All right. So there has been heavy selling. However, in April, we've been net buyers.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So we've been net buyers. So similarly in the US, we've seen a very similar situation. Because of the stimulus, we've seen a rally in the market over there. We've seen some insanely heavy days. Some days the markets are down by 6%. Some days we've seen the market rise by 7%, and a 2-3% days are very normal.
Yes.
And volatility is really high. So in the US market as well, because of the fiscal stimulus, mainly because of the fiscal stimulus, we are seeing that kind of a rally.
Yes.
And it is that money that is trickling down to emerging markets, which is also, triggering the rally in India. Because sometimes it makes you wonder that, यार coronavirus है, इतना death बढ़ रहा है, कोई काम नहीं कर रहा है, earning नहीं आ रहा, तो भाव कैसे टिक रहा है?
Yes.
But there's so much money right now, and that is rolling over to the emerging markets as well.
Okay. Oh.
If you see the Dow and the Nifty have a very strong correlation. Today, on a regular basis, we've stopped tracking anything else. We track the Nifty with looking at the Dow, by looking at the European futures, by the US futures. So that is definitely, the reason why the US markets are going up. And there's actually, as I mentioned, that there's a lot of cash over there.
Okay.
So in a way, if you see that fundamentals are completely ignored.
Right. Yes.
See, usually price is very much correlated with earnings. All right.
Yes. Yes.
So there is an argument that market discounts everything in advance.
Right.
All right. So because of this earnings losses probably already been discounted,
Right.
and we are forcing a recovery.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
But another reason for the market to, to rise is because of the fiscal stimulus that's been given.
yes.
So we can clearly say that as of now, fundamentals have been ignored, and it's
Right.
only pumpermentals. We call it pumpermentals,
Okay.
not
Okay. Yeah, that's a
fundamentals.
very great term which you have coined. Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
pumpermentals. Uh, so it's this is the overall scenario. Things are weak, and we feel that this is just a retracement rally,
Okay.
and we feel that we will. I just want retail investors to give a clear picture that this is not the things are not getting okay.
Yeah.
All right, anytime soon. We will definitely see another leg down. That
Yes.
is what I would like to say.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, we have just gone by March 2020, and that
Yeah,
was the last month in which many of the general investors, I mean, who are the employed professionals,
yeah,
they, while they plan many things in advance, they also uh, invest a lot of money into the market and maybe similar securities towards the end of the March.
yeah.
Now, many of them have may not have got opportunity to even study and analyze and where to invest. And now we are in mid of April,
Hmm,
so into the next financial year,
hmm.
and there are of course number of other inputs also like budget and so many changes have occurred. So, what should be? I mean, this is a what investor should be taking a decision. It's a challenging time. So the key question is that as far as near term is concerned, that's next 2 or 3 quarters or maybe less than a year and slightly more than a year, what could be the impact on the investments and as well as of course the investor or sentiment as well?
Okay. So see, as of now, Smitesh, the overall scenario.
Yes.
If you review each and every asset class right now,
Yes.
all right. Uh, if you look at the bond market or the fixed income market, yields are not at all favorable. Uh,
Okay.
it doesn't make sense for investors to park their money there. The simple reason is that inflation is higher
Yes.
than the yield that you really get post tax. So
Yes.
it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Real estate is very depressed at the moment, all right, and people have sort of lost confidence on real estate.
Yes.
So real estate is definitely not a place to invest. Gold is too high at the moment.
Right.
Overall, we are very bullish on gold. So it's a great asset to hold. It's not failed you. I don't think it'll fail you. But again, it's too high at this moment. Uh, the next is the dollar. All
Yes.
right. Again, the dollar is actually the one that's creating all this crisis, and this is where all the money is going right now. All right. Uh, and equities equities is taking a beating.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, I think investors need to, with respect to equity, w- this can't be a better time to start.
Wow.
I'm not saying you go in all out. All
Yes.
right. See, one thing is that you can never time the market.
Right.
All right?
Right.
But there are good quality companies, and there are valuations that you would only wish कि यार वो HDFC बैंक 1250 जिस दिन 850 900 का मैं लूंगा लेकिन अभी कोई लेता
Yes.
नहीं.
Yes. Correct.
So
Correct. Yes.
so all I'm trying to say is that you can't time the market, but it's a good time to start. In case you have 1 rupee to deploy,
Yes.
start with 10 paisa,
Yes.
start with 10%, start with 8%. All
Yes.
right, spread
Correct.
it out, but
Yeah.
you have to start.
Definitely.
Uh, Otherwise, gold is a good asset class. One can keep buying.
Right.
Not physical gold, but one can always buy gold ETFs,
ETFs. Yeah.
and that are available on the market. One can start buying them also in parts along with equity. It
Definitely.
always acts as a very good hedge.
Yes.
So one can do that. Uh, so, but also with respect to sentiment, Smitesh, this time this is what my experience is, that we haven't seen any panic from our investors.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right. Usually, see in 2008 in the great financial crisis, in 2000, in 1992, people have gotten very panicky and come
Yes.
overnight, sold
Yes.
their portfolios at whatever price it may be. But this time, the complete attitude is different. Our investor sentiment and our investor behavior has become a lot more mature.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
at least this is what my experience is.
Yes.
Today there was an article that said that in March, 70% of the SIPs have been discontinued. Equity SIPs have been discontinued. But
Oh.
at least from the experience that we are facing with our clients, and we've kind of assured them that if we are invested in good companies, then
Yes.
we don't need to worry.
Definitely.
So so this time things look a little different.
Yes. Yes. So I think there also the value of, I mean, your services would come into picture, because I mean, many of my friends who are, they come up with question and ask, okay, should I go for this SIP, that SIP, and maybe they do some their own internal research, and maybe they would have invested as well certain amounts, maybe starting January or February, and now they are seeing the NAV of that particular fund has dropped significantly. So I mean, would it be appropriate for investor to start thinking for investing into, as you guided, specific companies, and gain an expert insight, and also, that could be a direct way of maybe starting at looking at the market instead of just going through the standard mutual fund kind of a route.
Yeah, I think, see, if you have that kind of risk appetite and interest, see, there is no minimum barrier to entry
Yes.
when
Yes.
it
Yeah,
comes to
that's a great
investing in
point.
equity.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So you got to have that kind of eagerness and that kind of inclination to do so.
Yes.
Uh, if if we invest in a concentrated portfolio, there's a very good chance that your returns are going to be a lot more richer than a mutual fund.
Yes.
All right. A mutual fund is staggered across 40, 50 companies,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there are many disadvantages and advantages on that.
Yes.
But I think it's a good time to shortlist 10 to 12 companies.
Wow.
This is what we've actually advised to a lot of the retail clients,
Yes.
that have a list of 10, 12 stocks and just do a simple SEP, a
Hmm.
systematic equity plan,
Okay.
where you can invest. For example, you have 10,000 rupees to spare in an SIP.
Yes.
Make an effort to buy one share, even
Yes.
if it's 1,000 rupees.
Right.
All right, you have 12,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees a month.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All
Oh.
right, so this is just I think in this way you will definitely amass a lot more wealth compared to mutual funds. This is just our experience.
Yes.
uh, but somehow people who don't have the time or the inclination or don't understand at all,
Yes.
for them mutual funds is a much safer place to go to.
Yes. Yes.
uh, but if you have that kind of little bit also of an inclination to understand, uh, then I feel that doing an SCP makes a lot more sense,
Yes.
uh, with respect to getting more returns, more concentration, uh, you know
Yeah.
and you don't.
Oh, that's great. So,
Yeah.
for an investor, or I mean, I would categorize maybe primarily retail investors or maybe employed professionals. So, this could be an opportune time for them to start at least identifying companies, maybe discuss with the financial advisors. So, of course, your expertise can come into picture at that point, and start evaluating the businesses and start approaching the equity markets in a much more maybe I would say intimate, become intimate with the capital markets instead of just delegating that task to maybe a large entity. But yes, as you are guiding, that those who may not have any inclination or may not want to invest that much of time as well as the intimacy, maybe they can go for any plan which is, or maybe whatever suits their requirement, a plan which is
Correct.
offered by a fund. So
Correct.
on these, I mean, the very specific question again. So, the number of like many of my friends also come up with Uh, I mean, some questions like, should I invest this? Should I invest there? My friend has invested in X particular venture or an investment, and he's got that much of return. So somewhere the objective part, okay, fine, what you as a family, what you as a professional would like to achieve in next 4 to 5 years, that somewhere is not coming out from many of the friends into the network, and they're just looking at purely the investment vehicles and not identifying what could be their objective, and whether really there is going to be challenge for them or this is an opportunity for them. So for such kind of retail investors and professionals, so what would be your maybe recommendation or any specific strategies which you want them to consider?
See, as of now, Smitesh, uh, as I told you that at this time, because we see that the next 2 quarters are going to be really bad,
Yes.
okay, across the board,
Yes.
it's very important to conserve cash. All
Yes.
right.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. We are advising clients to sit on cash for the next 3 to 6 months.
Yes.
Um, we are also advising them to take part equity positions,
Yes.
and we've asked them to completely exit debt. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Completely no debt funds, no credit risk funds for the next 2 to 3 quarters minimum.
okay.
Because so, I mean, I'm just telling you with respect to mutual funds and everything. This is the kind of
Definitely.
strategy that we feel at this point in time
Yes.
is to be adopted. Uh, a part equity, part gold,
Yes.
no debt. All right, keep your money in the bank.
Yes.
That's it for now. I think because we feel the next 2 quarters are going to be very crucial,
Yes.
especially because firstly, I feel we'll see a lot of economic contraction.
Definitely.
Uh,
Definitely.
we'll see a lot of businesses not being able to live up to its commitment,
Yes.
especially that is owed to the banks or any kind of leverage that they have.
Right.
So at this point in time, and you know, especially for retail investors, even institutional investors, we've advised them to stay as light on their debt book,
Okay.
like your corporate debt or whatever it may be. Because right now there's a point where you're getting really good companies at really good prices in the
Yes.
bond market,
Yes.
especially so. In the last week of March, a lot of the FIIs sold. Almost 60,000 crores of selling happened in the bond market,
Oh, that's a great
and
insight. Yeah.
yeah, so like good papers like HDFC, which there's a 8.85 per, uh, which at all times trades at a premium.
Oh,
All right, its YTM throughout the year was somewhere around 8.5, 8.4, 8.6, depending on the GSEC.
right. Right.
All of a sudden, March we're seeing it at 8.85 at par.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. But still, at this point in time, even with quality companies, I think it's time to conserve capital for the next
Definitely.
2 quarters,
Definitely.
uh, and just sit on cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the kind of strategy I would advise for the next 2 quarters.
Wow.
That
Oh,
I feel like let things stabilize. All right. See, we don't need to be in a rush or
yes.
to have that fear of missing out, FOMO
Yes.
feeling that people, we shouldn't have that.
Right. Right.
It's okay if let things get little stabilized,
Yes.
and but right now conservation of capital is of highest priority.
Definitely, definitely. Wow, that's I think a really, I think great input which you have shared for many many retail investors. I mean, to conserve cash and look at safer options. And of course, as you're rightly pointing out, that many organizations who may face a business challenge for next 2 to 3 quarters, they may not be able to repay their debt or service their loan, and that may have a cascading effect on all the debt kind of securities.
Correct.
So sure, definitely. So Anmol, now just I mean, since there is a lot of I mean there are two views which are coming up in this particular COVID situation. One side I check with people and they say that really they don't have any time at all because all the time they have to be available for the organization related activities, even
Hmm.
when they're working from home.
Hmm.
And there are set of people who have I mean absolutely, because maybe they could be onto the marketing fee side or customer servicing side, where because there is no demand or limited interaction with the customer, there is an ample time. So, I mean, there could be many people who would have ample time, and there are people who are struggling for time even while working from home because continuously they have to be available. So, if someone of that sort wants to just start, maybe as and when this particular COVID cloud resides, looking at the opportunities going forward which may come or maybe could be currently available. So what do you recommend? I mean, what should be broad parameters which the any retail investor should look at in the overall capital market?
Uh, see, the broad, see, as of now,
It's 4 o'clock.
see, the lockdown overall is going to take its toll.
Yes.
In March, is going to take its toll on the next 2 quarters.
Right.
Uh, see, I'm just going to address your, on the point you spoke about the overall outlook.
Yes.
The capital markets. I'm just going to give you an outlook of what I feel. All right. I feel that in these coming quarters, sectors like your pharma, your chemicals could show some stable numbers.
Okay.
All right. With the low crude prices and the low demand for other products, so they could have they would have benefit of low input prices. Banks will not have they'll face some problems for the next 2 quarters.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to understand whether there'll be higher defaults, higher NPAs, higher NPL numbers. It'll be very interesting to look into their guidance.
Yes.
The next 2 quarters will be very, very important. But overall, I think the June and September quarters are going to be very weak, out and out. Other than pharma, FMCG, power utilities, gas utilities, telecom,
Yes.
the rest of the businesses would be very disrupted, mainly due to the lockdown and no availability of labor force. Right now, most organizations are working at 20 to 30%.
Yes. Yeah.
And max 50% work from home.
Yes.
So we will see, even though they are functioning, but they're not functioning at the complete capacity.
Right.
So we will definitely see a drop in numbers.
Yes.
Right now also, if you see, the market is kind of valued at, it's not valued this part. I'll tell you what, the overall, the numbers, the functionality is not being factored into the price.
Okay.
It is the COVID damage that has been factored. So I think once that guidance comes through, I think we will see further downside coming into the market.
Okay.
I think the biggest impacted sectors would be real estate, multiplexes, offline retail, hospitality.
Right.
And the next 2 quarters, your IIP data, your PMI index, your GDP numbers are going to be quite low.
Yes.
And some of the depreciation for the rupee could be actually a good thing for export-oriented business.
Right.
Like IT, pharma.
Yes.
And certain sectors like textiles, which will be very heavily affected by the lockdown.
Right.
So the only plus point is going to be the falling commodity prices and the oil that is down, which will actually help in the fiscal deficit.
Now, perfect. I think that's a very broad perspective which you have shared, and I mean, at least a starting point for an investor as to what they should really look for when they're evaluating, I mean, various opportunities, maybe sector specific. So, Mul, I think you have shared a lot of inputs to all our, professionals which are looking at some guidance. So, as we put on any news channel, there is only the number of cases which are getting reported on Corona, and I think every day, I'm sure, of course, it is important for us to monitor, but one should just sit idle and wait for something, or should at least start looking at opportunities which may come up, maybe sector specific. I think your guidance would be much more valuable, and I'm sure, of course, going forward as well, will this is for the people who are watching this particular video. One is that there are many types of, I mean, as Anmol highlighted about debt market, equity, and gold, and many kinds of asset classes, and even ETFs for that matter. So going forward, we are going to seek specific inputs for different type of investment opportunities, and we'll take his expert guidance, and I'm sure it will help all of us to understand the nitty-gritties and the micro part, and also as he shared the inputs related to the macro scenario. So see the big picture as well as even focus on certain opportunities which could be relevant, time relevant for the investor community. So any closing remarks or recommendations, Anmol, which you would like to just share before I share the thank you note?
Yeah, so I can say in the current environment, with respect to the markets, I think there are a lot of companies and with good businesses and strong managements
Yes.
that are available at very decent valuations that we wanted for a while.
Right.
Those investors who have a 2-year plus investment horizon
Okay.
shouldn't miss this opportunity.
Okay.
Uh, they need to ignore these 2 quarters and just buy.
Yeah.
But I would advise you buy in parts.
Yes.
All right. If again, as I stated earlier, if you have 1 rupee to spare, let's start with 10%.
Wow.
All right. That is the approach. Uh, Overall, equity yields actually look more reasonable versus the GSEC yields at this point. So it gives us overall comfort in equity valuations. Although valuing stocks at a micro level will be very tricky at this moment because we don't have any guidance for the next 2 quarters.
Yes. Yes.
Or because the whole scenario post COVID will change. The working and everything will change. So it's very hard. But the thing is, uh, we can never time the market.
Yes.
All right. We never know what kind of a bazooka, where it comes from. Tomorrow,
Exactly.
if we find a vaccine, it's very hard to time.
Yes.
Sitting in front of the screen also. So the best way out is to start and to start immediately, but start at a very nascent
Step
level.
by step, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think we should. It's never a bad time to start in the market. I think it's a good time.
Definitely. I think thanks for your encouraging words, Anmol, and I'm sure all my friends and of course the investor community, retail investors, or even the professionals would look for uh, of course word of encouragement as well as of course even broader guidance on the macro part as well as on the micro part. So I'm sure I think many of the retail or investor community would have number of questions on some specific sectors and also maybe certain specific type of investment vehicles or opportunities. So as going forward, of course, we'll engage with you more and more and seek your expert inputs so that the key objective is, of course, of this particular series is to enhance the financial intelligence. So whatever the objective of an investor could be, one needs a clear guidance from the people who have lived that path, who have walked that path and have reached at a particular stature into the investment zone. So first of all, of course, thank you very much, Anmol, for being with us here. And I'm sure there are a number of questions which even I have and many of my friends also would have. So we'll get in touch with you and surely I'm sure you are going to guide us going forward as well. So thank you
My
very much,
pleasure.
Anmol.
My pleasure, Smitesh, and very very happy to be a part of this series. And any questions from from you and your friends and this community, I'll be more than happy to answer and guide.
So thank you very much and thank you for watching us. And uh, of course, stay at home, stay safe, and have as you're taking care of your family, also start looking at investment because your children are growing, they are learning, and so as you also need to help your wealth grow going forward. So seek the inputs from experts and then accordingly chart the way forward. So thank you very much. Thank you all of you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Anmol.